Have Dan Radomski from Lawrence Technological University's Centrepolis Accelerator. We'll explain all that. I know it's a mouthful. But first, we have Dan. Welcome back, Dan.
Thanks for having me, Mike, Matt.
Okay, before Matt weighs in, let me just sort of have you start off. I always assume that no one knows any of these guests, so why don't you give a brief introduction of what you do there at the accelerator?
Sorry for cutting you off there. Appreciate that. So Centrepolis Accelerator, it's housed at Lawrence Tech University's campus, and it's a partnership between Lawrence Tech University, City of Southfield, and the Michigan Economic Development Corporation, and it was founded on the purpose of helping people that want to develop physical products, help them with their journey in designing, engineering, prototyping, and manufacturing those products. Our mantra is helping people not only develop and bring those physical products to market, but specifically have them designed and made right here in our home state of Michigan. And to date, we had over 100 companies or 100 products that we've helped commercialize, manufactured here in Michigan. And we often use our Lawrence Tech faculty and students to help these companies along and with proof of concept development, testing, validation, research work to help ensure their success.
Okay. Right. And what's unique about this incubator, right, Dan, is that it deals with manufacturers and physical products. It's not just software and apps, although that is part of some of these things, right?
Yeah, sure. I mean, a lot of smart hardware these days includes, software and hardware development, but where we really excel is helping with the physical product development effort. So that's, looking at ways to design out costs and complexity in products. My team, we have now 30 experts in residence that have all had, 20, 30 years of experience in the field. So kind of seen everything and done anything, and more importantly, can help inventors and small businesses that have ideas for new physical products avoid the same mistakes we made back in the day.
Yeah. Well, we have here three, I guess, grants/prizes that we wanted to talk about here today that the Accelerator has recently received. First is an incubator prize from the U.S. Small Business Administration. So tell me what that's about a little bit.
Yeah, so on occasion, the Small Business Administration puts out a prize competition. It looks for, trying to recognize the best incubators, accelerators in the nation. And obviously, it's looking for those that support not only startups, but established small businesses. And we were one of just a handful of awardees. So, being recognized at that level by the federal government and the SBA is pretty special. And I think one of the reasons that we were selected is obviously our focus on manufacturing, because many incubators and accelerators are not focused on that. And the fact that most incubators only help startups. We're one of the few that will help support startups as well as established firms that have ideas for new products.
Mm-hmm. And that comes with a financial prize that's going to be used for what? What are we going to use that for?
Yeah, so it's really nice that the prize allows us to kind of use it at our discretion. And what we're planning to do is actually put that towards some additional equipment and materials that we have in our lab. So on campus here, we not only have a co-working space and office space for companies, but we also have a product design and prototyping lab. We have 8 3D printers, a machine shop, scanning equipment, AR/VR studio. And now we're going to be able to use that to put in more equipment, unique equipment that'll help our clients along in their journey of developing their products. What's nice about it is we've, due to many grants that have gone into funding, we can actually provide prototyping services and design services almost at free, where it's just low material costs, quick turnarounds. And that's in part why we've been successful, of course.
Okay, and you're also doing some work on the state's renewable energy ecosystem. I know you have one of the programs of Centrepolis Accelerator is sort of a sub-accelerator called the C3 Accelerator that's clean tech, climate tech, and circular economy. And you also just recently got a grant from the state Department of Environment, Great Lakes, and Energy, the wonderful organization known as EAGLE, to map the state's renewable energy ecosystem. Tell me what that's going to do.
Yeah, so as you mentioned, EAGLE has been a funder of ours for a while, specifically helping us work with clients that have clean tech related physical products, advanced materials, or manufacturing technologies. And, they recently, aside from just supporting our accelerator and providing a nice, handsome seed fund that can help fund companies of over 1.5 million, they asked us to get involved in some asset mapping market research. And what this entails, Matt and Mike, is really looking at the existing ecosystem, especially for renewable energy systems, so wind, solar, geothermal, and specifically their potential at this current state to provide fuel switching capabilities to manufacturers, commercial buildings, and other operations to help reduce emissions, get more of those renewable energy systems in play here in Michigan, and in decarbonizing our economy. It also has us doing an asset map of all the companies that are in Michigan that are currently in the value chains of wind, solar, and geothermal, whether that's actually making the products, including the components and materials, or it's companies upstream doing the project development, installation, and servicing of the equipment.
Let me leap in here. One of the things that we never talk about for a state that has 3,500 miles of coastline is wave energy. And I know we don't have the big rising and falling tides like on the ocean, but heck, grew up along Lake Michigan, and boy, you get some nice waves out there. Has anyone been taking a look at that at all?
Yeah, we've had several clients over the years that had unique wave energy capturing systems, and not all of the wave capturing systems require, very large waves. There's ability to catch, through river streams, current flow, to be able to capture that force in the way of energy and ultimately pull that out of the water into electrical generation. And we've actually had demonstrations of that on rivers and in the lakes. One of the problems we run into is when you install a wave system or even wind turbines, there's been a lot of talk about offshore wind turbines into the Great Lakes, is we're in a cold environment, and then you have, freezing in the Great Lakes. And
good point.
That can be detrimental to some of the systems in a year-round operation.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of that angle, because every now and then the lakes get all the way frozen across, but it takes a whole lot of cold weather for a whole long time to have that happen. But yeah, I suppose it could really screw up to the machinery then, couldn't it?
Yep.
Well, I know, Dan, when I used to do the tech tour back in the halcyon days of the Great Lakes IT Report, where I would go around the state and just check out, new startup high-tech businesses and tech-based economic development. I was always surprised at all of the cool little energy companies that I would find along the way. There's a company in Clare called Advanced Battery Concepts that's doing really remarkable things with plain old lead acid batteries. There were other companies in an incubator that Grand Valley State University runs over on the west side of the state that were doing really interesting stuff. So you're basically going to give us sort of an encyclopedia of where all that stuff is, right? To let these people know that these other companies exist.
Yeah, very good point, Matt. That's essentially it. And more importantly, create that asset map so we can better connect those companies in the value chain, so we can have more of a thriving industrial cluster and ecosystem. So there's kind of a purpose behind that, and we do. I mean, right now we have close to 100 clean tech clients that we're supporting, and they're all over the state. Companies in the UP like X3 Energy, companies that fully design and engineer electric vehicle chargers like Rhombus and Dearborn, and companies on the west side of the state that refurbish, lithium-ion batteries and remanufacture them out in Holland, Michigan. They're all over the place. And, it makes me quite proud to know the assets we already have here in the state of Michigan and to be able to serve them every day.
Also, I know it's probably premature, but I mean, if we ever get that infrastructure bill passed, I think that one might go through. The other one I'm not so sure about. But any idea on how much money would be available for alternative energy projects? I mean, I think that one's passed already. It's just waiting for the House to pass it. So,
yeah, and there's likely to be several avenues in which that money from the federal government passes through state entities. So you'll see some money come into the Michigan Economic Development Corporation. You'll see some of that money come into the Michigan Department of Environment, Great Lakes and Energy. and all of those being available for infrastructure spending. Some obviously will come through the Department of Transportation and other agencies. And you'll see in all of those buckets, infrastructure funding that could help support companies. Some might be more geared towards startups. Some might be geared towards established firms and supporting their company growth. And then other money would be made available to communities that will then put procurement out that could benefit some of the companies that we're supporting and that are a part of this asset map that we're talking about.
All right, and the final gift or grant or win that I wanted to talk about in terms of the Centrepolis Accelerator was something from the feds, from the Economic Development Administration, which is part of the Department of Commerce. They have a program called Build to Scale that's an Industry 4.0 program. And you are involved in the Industry 4.0 Accelerator with Automation Alley and another incubator in Jackson called the Lean Rocket Lab. So tell us a little bit about the Industry 4.0 Build to Scale grant that you'll be receiving.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. That was actually a pretty, a really exciting award that we received. And obviously we had the highest ranks of the Economic Development Administration from the Department of Commerce fly in to make remarks on the awards they made, not only to us, but to TechTown as well for a different project. But it supports our Industry 4.0 Accelerator that we partnered 18 months ago with Automation Alley and Lean Rocket Lab on. Our three organizations being so focused on manufacturing and advanced manufacturing technologies. And really, it allows us to really scale our operations. We threw together the idea of, hey, let's globally crowdsource the best Industry 4.0 technologies, and let's bring them into Michigan to partner with Michigan manufacturers. And the theory was 18 months ago that, you know, we recognize that Michigan isn't the only place that generates impressive Industry 4.0 technology. We knew the potential of Industry 4.0 technology and what it could do to revolutionize the way manufacturing operations work and lower cost and improve quality and throughput. And we recognized if we didn't get these best in class technologies into Michigan, some of our manufacturers here in Michigan may suffer and may even be rendered irrelevant, especially small to medium sized companies. So, and now I look back and I couldn't be happier that we did it. And yes, we were on a shoestring budget. We didn't have a lot of funding. And now we do, thanks to EDA and Michigan Economic Development Corporation and others that supported it. And it allows us to scale because basically we have taken 400 applications from 34 different countries. It's been a lot to manage. The great thing is we've attracted 8 companies from all over the world, from Silicon Valley to Israel to South America to Michigan to set up operations. And the reason they're setting up operations is we brought them in and introduced them to Michigan manufacturers and they got business, right? So our Michigan manufacturers are utilizing that technology. They're becoming more efficient. And at the same time, they're drawing these great technology companies into the state. We've helped fund several Industry 4.0 pilots and demonstrations. And I couldn't be happier about it. And it's all thanks to MEDC, Lawrence Tech, the city of Southfield, and EDA for helping fund and helping us scale and grow that really important economic development effort.
Well, we're in the last minute of our segment here, Dan. If you want to tell people how to get a hold of you and how to come check out all the wonderful equipment and sort of fab lab and prototyping lab stuff that you have there at the Centrepolis Accelerator, where are you located?
So, as mentioned, we're located on Lawrence Tech's campus off of Civic Center Drive and the Lodge Freeway. And then if you want to learn more, you can go to centrepolisaccelerator.com and connect with us directly. Thanks.